So we'll kind of hang tight here and just kind of wait for some girls to log on, and then we'll get going.
Yes, we are doing it. We are doing it. We are doing it. It's exciting.
I know.
This is such a cool feature. This is such a neat feature where you can go live through Zoom, which actually used to be like a pretty hefty fee to do this.
I know. I remember doing this ages ago, and that's why I was like, I
bought another program called Be Live just to do this. And I was like, this is going to be amazing. But then the problem is that so I'm going to have to go on my phone, a pretty hefty fee to do this.
Oh, sorry about that.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, I will shut that down. All right, there we go.
There we go.
There we go. So we've got some people popping on here. And we'll kind of, hey, everybody, I see people coming on here. So I'm actually just going to get that off. There we go. Yes, we're just going to kind of wait. We've got 4 viewers on. I know more people are going to pop on. You know, we're all moms, and we all have probably some of us still putting kitties to bed right now, but don't worry. This will be, you're recording this, right? Yep. So it's recorded. Yeah.
Do you like the double side to side? Are we side to side? Do you see that?
I can't see it on mine, but maybe we are with you.
Oh, I want to see what side can you see.
Oh, there we go. Yep, now it's side to side.
Okay, great.
Yeah. All right, so let's see who's here. I wonder if I can view, kind of check out who's on here. And guys, we'll be starting in just a moment, so grab some tea.
And say hi. Say hi to us.
Glass of wine, say hi. Anything you guys want. We'll be chatting away shortly, getting to some really inspiring, amazing stuff here. So I'm really excited to share this all with you guys. So we will just kind of hang tight. Oh, Melissa Mel's on here. Hey, girl.
Hi, Melissa.
Alina is on here. 2 amazing, awesome people.
Hi, Alina.
And I'm sure there'll be more people kind of popping on as we start. So we'll just do a couple more minutes. And we got 6 people on here. Let's see. What else can I see? You guys say hi. I can see 6 people on here now. So please go ahead and say hi in the comment box so we can see you and say hi back. So we're just to kind of give you guys a little bit of what we'll be doing tonight. We're going to be really chatting for a good half hour here and then opening it up to you guys to ask questions. So it's going to be really fun time. So yeah, I mean, I guess we can get started. And then we'll have it recorded. We'll have it up here. People are going to definitely come on here and watch it when they're ready. So, all right. So let's get started. You ready, girl?
Yeah. Hi,
all right.
Yeah, Melissa. Cool.
Yeah. Yay. So here we go. So everybody, I want to, without further ado, announce one of the most amazing women and moms that I know, Vera Ventura, who tell you a little bit about Vera. She knows everything about every part of my life, which is crazy because my life is its own storybook as it is, and she's been a part. I think we've known each other now. How long?
Oh God, when did you get married? what year did you get married?
My first marriage was 2010, so I think it was 2009. Maybe we met.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's been with me. We've known each other through my first marriage, the divorce, my second marriage, all the other things I've been doing. And one thing that is just amazing about you, and I'll tell everybody else is, when I met Vera, she was originally my wedding videographer for my first wedding. Of this, of course, those who know me know that I'm divorced and remarried. So we met really way back in 2009. And she's one of the most talented videographers. She will make you look like a celebrity. I will tell you that much.
You're pretty easy to make look like a celebrity.
No. And, the other thing too is, Vera has decided to really branch off, and she now works with doTERRA and just does this amazing, amazing work with oils and everything wellness you can imagine. And Vera's going to tell you a little bit about her story and why you're going to understand after we speak tonight why she's here to speak to you and why I was so excited to have her come here to speak to you, because she has a wonderful, wonderful story to tell you about herself and how she has stayed so positive through this hard time she's going through right now. And this is in hopes to inspire you ladies that if you're going through something hard, whether it's, you know, an illness or a loved one going through an illness or a breakup or a divorce or anything in your life that is troublesome and you're in a rut and you can't get out, and you could just use another shining light on you to help you shine your light, that is just what Vera is here to do for you tonight. So Vera, I'm just going to start by having you tell everyone a little bit about your story. So as you guys know, Vera was diagnosed with breast cancer. So this is one of the things we're going to talk about tonight. I'm going to let her start off by telling you a little bit about, you know, how this came about, how she discovered, and a little bit about this journey since she discovered this new challenge in her life. So Vera, tell us a little bit about, you know, what happened, how you discovered this, and what's been going on up till current day. I know it's a longer story than you're going to tell, but I'll let you kind of take the lead with that so they can get to know you a little bit more in your experience.
Well, thank you for that beautiful introduction. I'm so blessed and honored to be here. And ever since I met you, I just thought you were the cat's meow. And I will never forget filming you in your little wedding dress that fit you like a glove. And everyone's like, how is she gonna even eat? I mean, look at her. She's like a little doll. Like you were just like this little doll. Just like, but then the heart of gold, you know, and no ego, you know, like someone who looks so attractive, and you know what I mean? There can be like an ego there, and I never felt there was like this super ego with you. It just was so, you were just so loving and warm, and I think we just kind of appreciated that mutual energy with each other. So I'm so grateful that you've been a friend through it all. So I just wanted to say that.
I love you too.
Maybe this is just a love fest between us.
Maybe. Hey, why not?
So yeah, so as Danielle said, I was diagnosed in 2019 with bilateral breast cancer. And I do want to share about breast cancer because I am someone who never thought I would ever have breast cancer, to be honest. You know, those kind of people like, I won't ever have breast cancer. I am so healthy. I am like the pinnacle of health. There's no way I would have breast cancer. And I was bulimic when I was in my teens. I'm sure a lot of girls were bulimic. Also like on the verge of anorexia. I had weight issues. I had drug addiction. I left home at 14 to go live with my sister when I fled Miami to go live in New York City. I lived really fast. I had a lot of boyfriends. I got chlamydia. I mean, you name it, I probably did it. I snorted a lot of things. I had an addiction problem. So I knew things had to change, right? I couldn't be going down like a rocket in flames for the rest of my life. I hit a wall when I was about 24. I had just graduated from college and the party just ended. And I was fat. I mean, for me, I was as chunky as I was going to get. My pants split. I was also bulimic. And they say that, you know, in my head, I mean, I was a chunky bulimic. I mean, for real. I mean, my whole family was obese. So I knew what was on the horizon. I also was scraping the resin of the pipe, right? So basically, I felt like a crackhead. I couldn't go without getting high. And that's when I committed myself to a 12-step program for addiction, specifically around food addiction. And I know it seems pretty crazy to be like, that's crazy. At the time, I thought it was crazy too, until I put down my biggest drug, which was flour and sugar. And I started to look at myself, and it was like the whack-a-mole. I was like, oh, wow, that's an addiction. Like men are addiction. Caffeine for me was an addiction, alcohol. I used everything to not feel my feelings. And that was 24. Because I had a really, as many of us have, traumatic childhoods. My father was semi-abusive verbally to me and my mom, and there was just a lot of that. I was sexually abused by men and things like this. Not raped or anything, but just very uncomfortable situation. I was attacked a few times. So I was sublimating those feelings. So when at 24, I joined a 12-step program for addiction, food addiction specifically. And that was like my journey to wellness, honestly. So at that point, I stopped everything cold turkey. I was like, I'm done. They say you like, it's called the Gift of Desperation. I was like, I'm done. So I put down flour, sugar, caffeine, alcohol, even men. I took a break. I know, hard. That was like the hardest. That's like chocolate cake. That's the hardest. I know, seriously. That no dating commitment. And I started to really find myself. I found my connection with my higher power, that spiritual connection. I started meditating every day. I became a yoga teacher. I got my yoga teacher certification because I had to put that crazy, addict energy somewhere. So of course I got a degree from Harvard as well. I'm a real go-getter. I became a high school teacher. I did lots of certifications. I started my own video company. And I was really healthy. But I had my second child, Alma, and I breastfed her, and 4 years old, she's still breastfeeding, and I'm starting to feel a lump. I'm starting to feel a lump on the right side, which actually I don't even have breasts anymore. This is a bandage over my breast because I had a bilateral double mastectomy. Well, bilateral and double are the same thing. So I had a double mastectomy about 5 weeks ago. So I have this bandage over my breast, but I was feeling a lump, like a pretty solid lump. And I just thought, because when they tell the women, see if it's a pea size. If you find a pea size, that's breast cancer, that might be breast cancer. So I always thought like it was going to be a pea size if it was ever going to be breast cancer. And my mom was nagging me. I have a really great Jewish mother who nags. And so she was nagging me, Vera, have you gotten a mammogram? Have you gotten a mammogram? And ladies, around 40, some states it's 45, it's like mandatory, whatever, to get a mammogram. But below 40, you don't have to get a mammogram, nor is it required. So I was like, no, I haven't. Please stop asking me this. But I started feeling this, and I just thought it was a blocked milk duct. So I went in to go check it out, and the doctor was like, it's just probably a blocked milk duct. Don't worry about it. And it started getting bigger, like the mass it didn't go away. And I stopped breastfeeding on this side. I was like too weirded out by it. So Alma only had this side to breastfeed on. I'm on my husband. And so I went in for the second time and I was like, can we check this out? And so they did. They ordered a mastectomy. So ladies, I'm telling you, if you feel any kind of abnormality, please just go get it checked out. Even if you're breastfeeding. So they got it checked out. I did the mammogram, which is basically they take your boob and they squish it like a chicken cutlet. Have you had one, Danielle?
Oh yeah, I've had a bunch. It runs in my family, so I go more often than I think other
you go
people.
more often. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then I had to wait for to see what came up, and then some concerning stuff came up, and then they do the biopsy, and the biopsy came back that I had right side cancer on the right side and cancer on the left side. Very unusual for a woman who is 39. So it raised some flags, and I was just in shock. And the hardest part between getting diagnosed with breast cancer is the first part. Is like you don't know what stage you're at. You don't know if it had metastasized. It could be stage 4. It could be stage 3. You could die tomorrow. You just have no idea. You're left in this big, giant, question mark. Until they tell you, okay, this is stage 2, this is stage 1, so it was stage 2 and stage 1. So it had not metastasized past the lymph nodes. They even did a surgery where they cut to make sure it didn't go past. So that was a blessing. And then, yeah, just dealing with the emotions of that. And that's really where the foundation of what I had learned in my recovery program, just with meditation and gratitude, you know, throughout the whole process, like, thank you, God, or thank you, whatever you believe in. Thank you that I found this out now. And I was beating myself up in a way because I'm like, I'm really healthy. I don't understand. I've been doing this for like 16 years. I've been eating a certain way and exercising and taking care of my body. What's wrong with me? And it has nothing to do with you or anybody. It's sometimes just a freak of nature or your cells, but it could actually be toxins in the environment as well. In this case, it was actually genetic. So my father had passed away of pancreatic cancer 2 years ago, and my grandmother had died of breast cancer when she was 65. So it's most likely that I inherited this kind of genetic mutation called the BRCA1 mutation, which is the same one that Angelina Jolie had from my father's side. Women who inherit the BRCA1 or BRCA2 usually preemptively do a bilateral mastectomy, and they also get their ovaries out without even getting the cancer. That's how scary the BRCA is. And
Vera,
insurance companies will pay for it.
Can I ask you a question? So this, you know, this story is just like, wow, because this could really happen to any of us, right? I mean, like she said, all of us will tend to think that, you know, this, you know, that wouldn't happen to us, or yeah, not me, because I'm healthy and all that. And you guys have seen now that Vera she had a history of, you know, a not so healthy lifestyle at one point, but then she really became the epitome of health, right? And then she discovered this. And now she's in a place where, okay, now what? Like, I've discovered this cancer. What now? I will tell you, some people would, and what's inspired me about you so much, Vera, is that I know that some people would probably just close the blinds, get into bed, and block everyone out. And you didn't. Like, you went right on social media and you started right away with, like, I'm going to tell my story and inspire, versus kind of go into that dark place where you just want to close the doors and detach yourself from everybody. And so I guess, like, the first thing I think a lot of us moms would like to know, because even though not everyone here has cancer, they can use this advice to anything hard they're going through. Even if, like, someone's going through a divorce, let's just say, and they need to tell their children something hard. You have 2 children. What did you, like, how did you kind of, after you discovered all this, I think that the next thing is you have to tell your family, like, you have to tell your kids and you have to tell your husband. What, like, how did you share this information that's so heavy and hard with children, and make them feel like everything was going to be okay?
I was very honest. I said, like, mommy has sick boobies. And I was like, Alma, you're not allowed to, like, breastfeed anymore. And she was really sad about that. And so that was hard. There's also a good book called, like, Your Mommy Has Cancer, or like Grandma Has Cancer. And so it really explains for children. But I think just, like, having their mom walk through it and be still very positive, and we're going to still have fun, and we're still, but not in a fake way, you know, not in a manic-y way. Like, I sincerely still just want to have fun and enjoy life. I really do love what I do. Like, I help people with their health and wellness, and with holistic health and wellness practices, because it's, like, helped me so much. So my job inspires me a lot, and I'm an entrepreneur just like Danielle. So I don't have, like, a quote unquote boss or a typical 9-to-5. I work for myself. So I am inspired by what I do. And I think getting out of bed, being inspired about sharing, and I was an open book before cancer. So being able to help other women inspires me. That does. And so sharing on social media, sharing about the journey, because maybe there's someone who has a family member that has cancer, but that family member doesn't talk about it. It's so private for some people to not share about their breast cancer. And so I want to make it in a way that that it's not taboo, that I can share about it. Now, will I go around flashing my double mastectomy boobs to everybody? No, but you can find plenty of those when you Google search, but I will share about the nuances of what it's like to have breast cancer and go through the journey and stay really positive. Meditation helped in the morning. I still do 30 minutes every morning just because I'm sitting with my own head and my own fear. And I could really look at that and not escaping from it either, not running away from the pain and the feelings that come as a result of getting a diagnosis like that. And really living life to its fullest. When you know you have the potential of dying, or when you know, like when people have like severe accidents where they almost die, they end up appreciating life even more. So I am like more driven to do what I want to do. And if I had to die tomorrow, I would still love what I'm doing right now.
Yeah. And I think that's what's so amazing. You know, I mean, I use like, you know, we spoke the other night, and I use like, for me, like when I was pregnant was probably when I felt the worst I've ever felt, especially my last pregnancy. My first pregnancy was great. My second pregnancy was really tough. I was shuffle walking at 3 months, like pelvic pain. And it was a really tough time. And I remember just going to work and showing up when you're tired and vomiting and your stomach's killing and you're getting cramps. I mean, just that alone for me, you know, or just even when you're getting surgeries, C-sections, whatever. I mean, I think a lot of us moms can relate to how we felt pregnant, but imagine getting up every day and still showing up on social media every day. It's not easy to put yourself out there. It's not easy to put yourself open for judgment on social media, because you don't, everyone has their 2 cents to say, and this is a really personal thing for you. But what I love about you is that you just came on and you were fearless, which is, I think, a lot of what a lot of women struggle with today is fear. They're afraid to start anything. They're afraid to start a new job if they don't like the current job they're in. Right. They're afraid to start a new relationship if they're in an abusive relationship, whether it's verbal or physical. They're afraid, or they're in a marriage and they're afraid to start over again. And so they stay in the marriage, or they're afraid to start a fitness journey because they're just afraid they're going to fail, and they don't want to waste 2 weeks of being restricted or feeling restricted because they know they're going to probably fail the 3rd week, so they don't even try at all. So someone like you that is just, you know, you have, like I said, you have a family to report to. It's not just you. You know, if we were to say to you, what can you share? I mean, I know you've already kind of touched on this, but, you know, what can you share with someone that is really at an all-time low and is really in this like sluggish motivation, and maybe they're just like at this point where they just kind of lost hope? You know, coming from you, what were some of the thoughts that went through your head when you decided, like, I know the first thought was probably like, oh my God, right? It's like, oh my God, was probably like, I kind of want to know the thought process of like the fear, then when the fear went to feeling strong, and when the strong meant to being positive. I kind of want to know how it felt, and then how you kind of climbed into the emotion of being where you are today, which is just this ultra strong, motivated, nothing's going to hold me down woman. Like, I kind of want to hear how you talked yourself up and the things that you did that got you there.
Yeah, that's a great question, because this can be applied to anybody going through anything. It can be just like the daily detail, you know, just the fact that schools, at least in Massachusetts, a lot of them are not reopening in September, and just like how to deal with being with your kids every day. That alone is very, you know, dark. That's dark. I think I'm more scared. I'm more scared of that than cancer, guys.
Seriously, right? Oh my gosh. But yeah.
No, I mean, having a support group is really powerful. Like what you have in your group right now is really powerful. And I had that. I would call people that had cancer like me, and I would talk about it with them, and you know, cry. Just being able to just emotionally just let go at times was really powerful. It wasn't really with my husband, to be honest. It was really with my it's a spiritual group. Like, I have a spiritual community that I'm a part of, and so that really helps. The people who live the longest are people who do have like a group of people that they can, you know, community. The aspect of community is really powerful. That's why people have religious communities and things like that. What I'm a part of is not religious, it's a spiritual community. So that helped me a lot. And then having that conscious contact with my higher power in the morning, and not just like picking up my phone or going right into like fear or like the news, but really having some quiet time with myself and with my higher power. And then using my oils. The oils uplift the mood. You have your brain is triggered by emotions and memories when you inhale essential oils, and also stimulates serotonin and other feel-good chemicals. So there's certain oils that I use to uplift the mood, and I do take like a natural supplement to actually uplift the mood. So it's not an SSRI, right? It's not changing the mood. It's more just like enhancing the feel-good feelings. So that helped to like a natural form of like equilibrium. So I do recommend that for women who are really struggling or down, to have like a consistent practice with that, as well. The oils, the gratitude, making gratitude list in your head, and also just keeping my gut healthy and exercising throughout the whole process. Gut health is huge, putting lemon oil in my water, because your gut is your second brain. And if your gut's not in order, it's going to affect your mood, and also can lead to negative thinking, depression, things like that. So I knew the importance of, because I had struggled with depression when I was younger, I knew that I had to stay really healthy throughout this whole process if I was going to be in a great mood. So if I don't exercise, if I don't eat well, I can see the effects of that happening. So I hope that answered your question.
It does. And, you know, with the essential oils, I know that
wait, hold on. There was a question. So the natural, so I work for Alina. Alina said, what natural supplement do you use? So I work for a company called doTERRA. And
I was just going to ask this question, so
yeah,
that's good.
I'm a coach, basically, the same way Danielle's a coach. We're both great coaches, but we offer different things. And so mine is holistic health, wellness. I mean, you offer that too, but under the realm of essential oils, and the supplements are infused with essential oils, specifically around cellular regeneration, anti-aging. Like frankincense is like the king of oils, and that, especially going through cancer, was really powerful for increasing white blood cells, keeping the skin, the nails, everything really healthy throughout the way. So that's what I use. And I really firmly believe in the product, because I've seen the results as I age, as I get older, and then with my mood. So thank you for that question.
Yeah. And you know what, too, we're going to be posting, Vera does classes on these essential oils and all the different ways you can use them. Yeah. So if you guys, we are going to post the information, because this has been a big part of her life. And this is, the spiritual connection really comes through the senses, like she said. So this is definitely a big part of her life. So she does host classes where she teaches everything about it. And she does have her own group too. So we're going to make sure we give you guys all that information under this post, so you guys can join that group, see some of her classes. And of course, if you need recommendations on what types, she can also talk to you about ordering anything like that too. So she's going to be your girl for any of this stuff. I've got my kit upstairs. I had so many problems in my second pregnancy, and she was like, I got you. And I have like the whole kit upstairs, and I'm still using mine. So
girl,
it's amazing. It's amazing what smells do. Yeah. So, you've got your fitness, you've got, how do you feel about, you're a no alcohol. I know you're super clean diet.
Well, that's because I have an addict-like personality. If I didn't have an addict-like personality, my husband drinks alcohol. My husband smokes pot. He eats chocolate cake. He's not an addict.
Right.
Like, guys, I was like 15 years old, 16 years old, going to these New York City, I grew up in New York City, going to these New York City clubs, and they would pass around giant bowls of like cocaine, and I'd be snorting them. So, I mean, that's not a normal behavior for anybody. I don't have like that kind of personality. So I think I know myself enough, but I totally respect, like, you're not a food addict, you're not an addict. I mean, you can make your beautiful like food concoctions and all that, and then not binge on them in the middle of the night. And that's what I would do. You know, I just, I don't have boundaries. I just didn't have that. So it's like, tonight, know thyself, be true, you know?
Yeah. So, you know, so at the end of the day, you know, when you're going through something, a real big struggle in life, your biggest thing, which I really thought was great, is that you need to gain some sense of community. So what's interesting is, you know, you guys all belong to this group right here, right? Mighty Mamas United, right? And that's just what we are. We're this group. And I hope eventually more people start asking questions on the group. It's a new group. So I want people to put out their vulnerabilities too in this group and actually be like, hey, I got a question, mamas. You know, that hasn't started as much just yet, but I know that it will. But community is so important. And if you don't have like a best friend or a mom like Vera that's like, you know, all over her with, you know, I have a mother like that. You know, I'm fortunate to have a mom like that. I'm fortunate to also have like that one best friend from childhood, but not everybody does. So if you don't, it's important that you join some type of community, whether it is a spiritual community, or if you belong to a religion, you might want to get more involved with that religion's groups. Like I actually spent a weekend when I was going through some really tough times in my first marriage. I went and stayed with my church for a weekend. I slept over and did something called Curcio just to like get myself back into a state of belief and spirituality and everything else. So you might want to look into that. And like I said, you don't have to have a religion per se. It could just be spiritual. Like Vera got into yoga. Hey, maybe you become an instructor like us. You never know. That definitely whips you into shape because you feel super accountable. But you know,
Rula says, can you share the link? Yes, Rula, I will, after this call, share the link, because it's not like a one size fits all for everybody. And I want to know specifically what you wanted to learn about, but anybody who is interested, I do just complimentary consultations just to see what would be good for you and energetically and physically and all that. So yeah, so just to answer that question right there.
Yeah. And guys, like I said, we're about to other questions too. So any questions you have, there's also a little you just keep typing those questions. We'll make sure we
feel free to
everything.
like the chat. We can see everything. So
yeah, just keep posting questions and we'll keep answering them. I think the biggest thing too is like Vera, that like one of my biggest questions that I think a lot of the girls might have too is like motivation is really tough. And I know that you're definitely constantly showing up every day. You're showing up. If you guys don't follow Vera, I say you got to follow her. You need to friend request her and follow her journey. There's got to be days though where you do feel down and you do feel really unmotivated because we're human,
totally.
right?
Oh my God, I felt that. I felt that way on Sunday. I felt that way on Sunday.
Yeah, we can't be on all the time.
No, of course.
What do you do when that happens to you? What do you do to get yourself out of that again?
Yeah, I was in a real funk on Sunday. I mean, I just got the information I had to do more chemo, like another year, and chemo takes years off your life as well. Like it's basically chemicals in your body, medical chemicals that like just are, so they take years off your organs. So I was down about that. I was down that a friend of mine sort of got this promotion or succeeded a little bit more than me in my company, and I was down. I was happy for her, but a little down about that. And then down about the global pandemic. And, what helped me get out of the funk was, once again, like connecting with people, going back to gratitude, how blessed I am to be married to a great guy. I mean, just the simplicity, like we have a roof over our head. I have my hands, I have beautiful clothing, just the basics, I can breathe, I can see, so many people are suffering right now. And when I start just thinking all about me, they say ego, EGO, is easing God out. So you can supplement God for higher power, nature, whatever, universe. But basically it just becomes like when I'm in my head and it's all about me, it feels yucky. And I know that I know I need to get out of it and just start focusing on what I'm grateful for. So that's what helps me. But doesn't mean I don't go there. I mean, I have jealousy and I have resentments. I mean, it's human, you know, human emotions. There's
That's
days I don't
interesting.
necessarily want to show up, and I might have a splitting headache from having, you know, chemo and then, you know, 4 days before, but it's like you put on your big girl panties and you just show up and do one thing every day that scares you.
Yeah, that's, you know what, that is an incredible thing you just said. You know, if any of you guys are, if you're ever, you know, going through, one of the things that I did in my early 20s, Vera, I don't know if I ever shared this with you. I guess I'll share it with everybody else, but I went through a really a strange couple of years in my 20s where I was having major anxiety attacks. Like it got so bad that I couldn't even get my nails done because I was afraid I would faint. I couldn't get my hair cut because I thought I was going to faint. I was scared to walk down a wedding aisle because I didn't think I'd make it down the aisle. It was just, I became this like obsession with fainting because it almost happened once. And then it just developed this giant thing. And it was so horrible that it got to a point where if you get to these points and you're someone on here that suffers with anxiety, because I feel like almost everyone I talk to these days is like suffering with this.
Yeah.
You may come to a point where you don't leave your house, and it got to that point where I didn't want to go out. So finally, I was up late one night and I saw this, like, someone was on TV. I think his name was Angela Bassett at the time. I don't even know what she still does, but she was like, do you ever feel ... Do you ever feel this? Do you ever feel that? I was like, that's me. It was like 2 a.m. So I ordered a program crying. I was like, I'll do anything. And anyways, this is self-help, personal development, program. It worked. But one of the things I did was exactly what you just said. I did something that scared the living effing shit out of me, because I said to myself, for that year, I'm going to do everything that scares me so that I scare the crap out of myself. I scare it all out so that I'm always like okay with I know how to manage the fear because I know how to like get down from it. One of the things I did was I got certified scuba dive, and I went and did all these open dives in the ocean, which terrified the crap out of me to be in the ocean because I'm so scared of like sharks and stuff.
Right, of course.
So that was one. And then I went on every single giant roller coaster I could find in New England and down south. It scared the crap out of myself and everything. And you guys, I haven't had an anxiety attack like that since. I've had definitely anxiety, but if I feel something coming on, I'm like, I got this. And so that brings me to like your yoga. I think yoga is so important. Do you teach online yoga? Like, could we take an online yoga class with you or something like that?
Totally. I was teaching before I had my double mastectomy, and I'm going to go back to teaching most likely in the fall before my reconstruction. But yeah, definitely.
Or meditation, even meditation.
Yeah, and I'm happy to offer just like a class for your, maybe just like a drop-in class. Anybody can come. Just to offer it to your women too, just something as well.
We need to like have a plethora of oils and sit with you, like, and just smell and meditate with you for like an hour and have everyone watch our children.
Yeah, that would be lovely.
And then go to sleep. Then go right to bed. Yeah. If you do it right before bed, and then we all just conk out. No one talk to me.
And that was a big thing I was doing before pandemic, was teaching a lot of workshops, a lot of yoga classes. That was really my focus. And now my focus is pretty much online growth, doing this, which I was already doing. I was just doing everything live. So that, I think what scared me was in a way like doing one thing every day that scared me, with the whole online world, and growing online and putting myself out there. And it's like, boom, here we are, this is what we're doing, and not to be shy about it, not to be shy about what we're doing.
Well, I love what you said about ego, because I think what's interesting when you think about ego, and I love the definition of ego. I never really thought about the definition of ego until you said that. That's really cool. But yeah, it's kind of like, get over yourself. Like, I hate to say this, but like, if we were to give you guys tough love, and there's anyone that's like obsessing about the way I look, I this, I that, I'm afraid to do this, I can't do that, I don't have this, I don't have that. It's almost like we kind of like gotta get over yourself. Like, and it might be kind of funny to say that, but that's really what I think. There's even a book, right, called that. It's like a book. I think it's a personal development book.
Well,
like called Get Over Yourself, right?
So many women, so beautiful, so wonderful, so talented, but so self-deprecating. Like I went to this mom's house like last week. She bought a kit and she bought oils and then I got some stuff from her because she has her business. And I came to take some pictures of her because she's building a website and she's a fitness woman and great body, you know, beautiful. And, you know, every time I took a photo, she said something negative about herself. She's like, I just don't look good. I just don't photograph well. I mean, she's telling herself this. The power of your mind is so, like, your words you're going to manifest that. And that's the law of attraction. And I'm sitting there thinking, why is she doing it? And I didn't say anything because I didn't have that comfort level with her.
I know your face, and you probably saw it right on your face.
Well, I was just like, you look great. Don't worry about it. Like, you look beautiful. Like, you're going to love like, you know what I mean? But I realized how this tape, especially in women, how hard we are on ourselves with our looks, and then how we verbalize it. Like, she might have those thoughts in her head, but then to actually say it in front of me and make it real, like what you think becomes your reality. And that's why affirmations, I mean, Monday morning I did like a whole affirmations thing on Facebook Live and on Instagram Live, because people need that reminder of like, I am joyous, happy, and free. I am loved. I give love wherever I go. I am going to be successful in my business. I am, you know, you just need to reprogram, and that hits your subconscious, because positive thinking is for your consciousness, but the affirmations are for your subconsciousness, and they're so powerful. And that negative thinking is just where we dig our own ditches. Honestly, ladies, it's where we dig our own ditches.
That's such great advice. You've just been absolutely amazing. I just adore you so much, and I love you so much. And I think this was just what everybody needed to hear. And like listening to you come on when you first came on here, I mean, guys, did you hear her? She came on here and literally told you, like, hey guys, I did this, I did that, I've had this, I've had that. I mean, hello, do you know anyone else that has the balls to just be an open book? You know, this is what I love about Vera, because she is fearless, and her life didn't start off that way. And I'm not telling you tomorrow to go on social media and be like, list everything in your life that you did wrong. Like everyone you slept with, anything like, you don't want to do that's what I'm telling you to do.
Actually, I would love for you guys to do that. I'd love to see it, because that's juicy. That's juicy stuff.
But I mean, because
we all want to know about Ellen DeGeneres' downfall, right? It's like that. It's like, tell us more. Tell us about the drama.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're not saying like, you know, go crazy tomorrow. However, what we are trying to say here is that her life didn't start off that way. She started like very closed up, and it was a journey to get where she is. So you can't expect to change overnight, but you can take baby steps and moving in the right direction. As long as you're taking the right step, that's the biggest thing. And you heard her, you kind of got to get out of your own head. So one thing I think you can practice to start off with is and this is something that in From Scratch, that a lot of you have been on my program. One of the things I make you do is write all the things you don't like about yourself, that I make you write the opposite on another piece of paper. So you can keep practicing. Every time that thought comes up, you say the other thought right away. And it's kind of like a boyfriend you broke up with. You keep telling yourself you hate him, and then eventually you kind of start to hate him a little bit. So this is the opposite. You keep telling yourself how much you truly believe in yourself, and you do love yourself, and eventually this will feel more comfortable for you to do, and you will grow into that self-love. Vera, I know we are going to definitely post where anyone can contact you.
There were some questions or some
and answer any questions.
Alina said, "Oh my God, you're insane, Danielle. Probably for the scuba diving and the and then the rides. I love that approach." Alina wants to join the virtual yoga class. Melissa Mel said, "Sounds wonderful." Alina said, "Sometimes people say that because they need to hear the opposite for self-validation. It's sad."
It's true.
Oh,
It's true.
that's a good
It does
point.
happen. I was thinking the same thing,
That
actually.
she maybe wanted me to say, no, you look beautiful.
She may
You're
have. Yeah, she needed
gorgeous."
that. Yes, that's exactly what a lot of people do, because they just need they need the confidence from somebody else
That's
to
a
just
good point. Yeah,
boost them
I
up.
didn't even
Yeah.
think about that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But the goal is to get to a place where you don't need someone else's approval, because if we are seeking approval from somebody, you will never be fulfilled, and
Right.
it'll just be a really, really tough road for you in life if you depend on someone else's approval and just don't believe in yourself. Because how many times, Vera, have someone told you you're crazy for doing X, Y, and Z, and you did it and ended up being the best thing you ever did?
Oh my God. Yeah, I get that all the time.
Yeah, I mean, same here. I had people back in the day ask me why I was leaving this job to start this job, and that job ended up being my whole career.
Right.
So, it's interesting. Does anyone else have any questions that we missed that we can, I know we're going to kind of wrap up our amazing call, but any other questions that anyone wants to post up there?
Nothing's coming up.
Okay, guys. Well, listen, you have all been amazing. Vera, thank you so much. We're going to get all your information out for the girls if they want to contact you for anything at all that we talked about tonight. You're an inspiring mother, an inspiring wife, an inspiring thriver, an inspiring, working mom, working woman. I mean, you're just incredible. So I love you. I want to just hug you, and I don't care about COVID. I'm gonna hug you through the screen.
Please,
no
hug
COVID,
away.
COVID.
Hug away. Well, thank you for having me on your wonderful group, and I can't wait to have you in my group to share your journey